Welcome to Anchorage, a truly wild city. Like any urban jungle, it's plagued by thieves and petty crime. But here in Anchorage, the culprits aren't human. They are wild animals. This unique Arctic city is home to hundreds of bears and over 2,000 moose. But top dog are the city's wolf packs. And by breeding wild wolves with domesticated dogs, it's the husky that's helped humans carve out an existence in Alaska's harsh climate. And in Anchorage, there's another wild canine on the city streets, 24 hours a day. Mischievous and inquisitive, urban coyotes are causing havoc. But faced with all the dangers of this wild city, is their cunning enough to help these notorious scavengers survive? Alaska. Nature in all its glory. Almost half as big as the rest of the United States combined, Alaska is known as the last frontier. Its 1.7 million square kilometers are home to some of the toughest and most spectacular wildlife on Earth. Alaska is home to 200,000 bears, herds of caribou, almost 1 million strong. But for thousands of years, the apex predators have been the packs of grey wolves that reign over huge areas of this pristine wilderness. And built right in the heart of wolf country is the city of Anchorage. And although the wolves' hunting ground is now a city, the human residents understand that these suburbs are still a battleground where wild wolves continue to hunt.
I also support the right of animals like wolves, predators like wolves, and they've actually been here far longer than we have.
Even though they live in kind of a suburban area, again, they're not tame, they're still wild. You know, they aren't our pets. We shouldn't treat them as such.
While the wolves of Anchorage continue to live and hunt just as they do in their natural habitat, there's another species of wild canine that has adapted to life on the city streets. Urban coyotes are known for their mischievous nature, and they often cross the line from friendly neighbor to troublesome pest. During the winter, coyotes struggle to find food, so the lure of city life proves too great for many. Drawn in by the constant supply of food and the infinite opportunities for mischief, coyotes cannot resist the sights and smells of Anchorage. Highly elusive, no one knows how many coyotes live in Anchorage. But their powerful sense of smell and razor-sharp hearing enables them to thrive on the many opportunities to find food in this city 24 hours a day. But the coyotes that live outside the city are almost entirely nocturnal, coming out to hunt as the sun begins to set. They were thought to survive by scavenging from the kills of larger predators. But they also hunt small mammals. And once a coyote has picked up the scent, they are incredibly persistent. And it's this survival instinct and tenacity that enables the coyote to thrive in almost any environment. And here in Anchorage, the coyote's senses have allowed them to adapt to the urban jungle. And they've taught themselves some remarkable tricks. It's rumored they have even learnt to cross Anchorage's deadly highways. Thousands of Anchorage's wild animals are killed on its busy freeways each year. But biologists studying wild coyotes watched a group regularly use traffic lights to cross a 6-lane highway. Emerging from the bushes, the coyotes lay in wait for pedestrians to press the button. The coyotes would then wait patiently for traffic to come to a halt, before safely crossing the road and disappearing into the suburbs in search of food. But Anchorage's streets can be a dangerous place, and many lose their lives on these highways. But luckily, there is a place in Anchorage for injured or orphaned coyotes. Keeper Beth has reared Hans since he was a pup.
Hans is our youngest male, and he came here when he was about a month old. He was an orphan that was found by some kind people that were driving, and they saw him on the side of the road, picked him up, believing that he was a puppy, took them to their local veterinarian, who said that he was 99% sure that Hans was a coyote and that the folks could not keep him as a pet. Finding them on the side of the road encourages us to think that probably the mother was moving her den site from one side of the road to the other, and she got startled and dropped the pup.
Raised by humans, Hans is unable to be released, but he's still wild.
I don't think that he's lost his wild nature, and there's a lot of times that you can see it demonstrated. When they're fed, they are separated for feeding, but he will still protect his food source. He'll guard it, not just from me, but from the other coyote.
In the wild, coyotes are usually solitary, but in Anchorage, they work together.
They are everywhere. They see people as a easy food source. This gets them in trouble. They have learned that this is kind of it's an easy place to live for them. They've learned that humans provide easy food sources, whether it's your garbage, your pet food, your garden. Not that they're going to attack people or eat people. That's not their nature. But what they're looking at is what you leave behind. Dropping trash, putting trash out, feeding your dogs and cats outside. Or you could have livestock, chickens, rabbits. They will seek those as food sources, not necessarily as the animals themselves, but the foods that they eat.
But Anchorage's cold winter can push the coyotes to take risks.
A couple that was traveling up in one of our very popular hiking areas with a small dog. It was believed to be under a year. The coyote actually, they thought the coyote was following them. They weren't sure. And then the coyote kind of came out of the brush, grabbed the puppy, and ran off. Puppy was never found, so it's not like he took it as a friend or a companion. More likely saw it as an easy prey source and took it off. It's a very unfortunate story, but in Anchorage, we do have wildlife, so you have to be aware that you're not the only one out there.
And Beth knows she must always be careful of Hans's natural-born intelligence.
He's a thinker, and so he's easy to work with and train, so to speak, but that doesn't make him domestic. Domestication takes thousands of years. These animals are socialized and adapted to the environment that we've provided for them, but they are still wild.
Hans's wild nature means he can't be fully trained. And having been hand-raised here at the zoo, this coyote can't be safely released back into the wild.
Good boy.
And coyotes aren't the only wild canines in Anchorage. 5 wolf packs also battle for territory in this wild city. The wolf is Alaska's top predator, and they are fiercely territorial. And they will kill any coyote that wanders into their domain. So in any neighborhood where you find wolves, there should be no coyotes. This coyote is half the size of a wolf. And against an entire pack, it doesn't stand a chance. This wild city is full of wolves and coyotes. But Anchorage also has more pet dogs per capita than almost any other city on Earth. And in this frozen metropolis, there is one breed built to withstand its Arctic climate like no other. Sharing 99% of its DNA with a wild wolf, the husky is a true symbol of Alaska. Capable of withstanding temperatures as low as -60 degrees Celsius, hundreds of years ago, the Inuit bred semi-domesticated dogs with wild wolves, creating the notorious husky. These dogs still maintain many physical adaptations of their wild ancestors, enabling them to withstand the fierce conditions of the Alaskan winter. Their power, endurance, and mental toughness is revered by Alaskans. In many parts of Alaska, dog sleds are still the only means of transport, and the husky is vital for survival.
Hey, Hermes! Okay, let's go! Wait!
But once they've lost their usefulness, many sled dogs are left abandoned. And without the pack hunting abilities of their wolf ancestors, many would die in such harsh conditions. In the forests north of Anchorage, there is a sanctuary for unwanted or injured sled dogs.
Mushing is definitely a big way of life out here. So the tradition of having sled dogs and a sled dog team is still very active.
But life in Alaska is tough, and it's survival of the fittest.
There's natural selection in the dog yard, and so mushers will pick the toughest ones. So tough feet, good coat, so they could stay outside without even shelter. They also had to have the endurance.
Huskies are built to withstand the snow and cold, but in some parts of Alaska, climate change is putting the huskies' jobs on the line.
We had 2 dogs show up recently. They were well cared for, but climate change is not allowing the snow to fall in the villages, so these dogs don't have jobs anymore. And so the owner decided to relinquish them because where we are here further north, we have snow still, and we have trails to run them on.
Raven has over 100 sled dogs, and looking after them is tough when every drop of water is frozen.
The challenges that we have here is mostly hauling water. To hydrate the dogs, we take advantage of the abundant snow that we have. We melt that.
But melting enough snow is a challenge when you're off-grid.
And so we have to cook for them basically every day. And we add in lots of flavors, fish mousse, fish oil, anything that's tasty to allow them to drink.
Each dog needs to consume thousands of calories a day if they're to take part in the main activity here at the sanctuary.
Sled dogs, since they're born to run and they have so much of a history running and they're so energetic and athletic, they have to have trails to run on, they have to have miles to go. And it allows us to figure out who they are as individuals.
And out on the trail, Raven can see their wolf origins.
They definitely operate as a pack. They have hierarchies, definitely. And that's one of the things that we always have to keep in check, because if we put one dog who thinks he's higher than another dog, we can't put them side by side when they're running in the team, because it's just a recipe for disaster.
As well as a traditional mode of transport, dog sledding is also the national sport. Each year, the city of Anchorage hosts the start of the Iditarod, a 1,500-kilometer dog sled race through Alaska's most punishing terrain. From Anchorage all the way to Nome on the west coast, the race retraces the life-saving journey made by sled dogs to cure an epidemic in 1925. The sled dogs will face constant sub-zero temperatures, frozen rivers, and desolate tundra. Many dogs are lost to the harsh conditions, but those that survive are seen by Alaskans as true heroes. At his kennel just outside Anchorage, one of the competitors has been trying to create a new breed of sled dog.
The recipe for a perfect sled dog is speed. I like to go fast, high endurance, the love for running, a good appetite, and just happy dog's always good.
But improving on a husky takes time.
You have to put in a lot of effort to try to figure out what would be the best thing to breed to what, to create the perfect puppy, right?
Wade hopes his blend of greyhound and husky will fulfill his lifelong dream of winning this year's epic race.
I grew up with mushing. My uncle did it when I was a kid, and I looked up to him, and working with the animals is always awesome, and also just being out in the woods and wilderness, it's like, it fulfills me.
Although bred for speed, they haven't lost their wolf-like instincts for traveling huge distances.
I believe that they love seeing new places as well and experiencing new things. Every time you go around a corner, you know, they take off like, what's around the corner, you know? So it's pretty cool to see their excitement of being out on the trail as well.
But unlike wolves, these dogs have developed a truly competitive nature.
The dogs love running and they love the idea of racing. You can tell it in the dogs, like when they're catching a team, they'll speed up and take off, and sometimes they'll start barking and getting really excited. They just love the competitiveness of the racing.
This is their last warm-up before tomorrow's race, and Wade knows the dogs' lives will be in his hands for all 1,500 kilometers.
There's a lot of challenges ahead of us. Going down big mountains, you can always fall off the sled. Extreme temperature changes, from hot weather where you can sweat a lot and then it can drop off at night. Sometimes, you know, 40 to 60 degrees colder in a few hours.
But it's not just the elements they'll be battling. The landscape they'll be traveling through is full of predators.
People have seen wolves out there and all kinds of stuff, so that can be very dangerous.
Wolves will be a constant threat to the dog teams when they leave the city tomorrow. But here at the Alaskan Wildlife Conservation Center, they provide temporary homes for any injured or orphaned animals found in the city of Anchorage. They also provide a permanent home for any wolves that can't be re-released. Deshka has been hand-reared here alone since she was a pup. But wolves are highly complex social creatures and need a pack to develop properly.
I've been working with Deshka. We got her at 8 weeks old, and it's definitely taken some time. We have to build a relationship, especially with wolves. If they peg you as a weakling, then they're going to treat you like that all the time.
Deshka's now 8 months old, and wolf keeper Sarah is working hard to help her develop just as she would in the wild.
Wild animals, you know, you're just a part of the scene for them. You're not really their main goal in life. She is a wild animal, she's a wolf, so if you put a new stick in the pen, if you put a new house in the pen for her to hang out in, she's gonna be freaked out.
With no adults for Deshka to look up to, Sarah has taken an innovative step, bringing in a domesticated dog for Deshka to learn from.
Remy helps Deshka just because it's another canine. Even though she's a domesticated dog, these guys come from wolves, so they speak the same language.
Perhaps surprisingly, it's the dog that's taken charge.
Remy's the alpha and Deshka's the beta wolf. And Deshka, she tucks her tail and she looks like she's scared. A lot of people get worried, wow, she's really scared of your dog. But that's just how beta wolves approach alphas. That's just kind of how the behaviors work in wolf society.
And this unusual relationship is allowing Deshka to display her natural social behavior.
So Remy and Deshka, again, they have that alpha-beta relationship, and whenever Deshka kind of gets up near Remy, especially because we haven't seen her in a couple of days, she'll lick her lips, and in wolf society, that's like, hi, how are you? How are you today?
By watching Remy, the bigger, stronger alpha, Deshka is learning about her world, just as she would in the wild, enabling her to be more confident and trusting with the keepers. This is vital as she is getting bigger and more powerful every day.
If I give them the bones or if there's any treats that get given, Remy always gets first dibs. If it ever turns, that's probably going to be when it's time for Remy to not be in the pen with Deshka.
But it's hoped the tricks Deshka is learning whilst a puppy will allow for vet care without anesthetic.
The whistle is just the bridge that we use in operant conditioning. Lets her know that when she hears that, she gets positively reinforced. And we were working with her today just to kind of keep her calm. I was rewarding her whenever she kind of got nervous. Eventually, I want to try and get Deshka to let me touch her on command. So that'll come with the sit command and then touch, and we're working on that.
The Conservation Centre receives any wild wolves rescued in Anchorage, so are hopeful that this icon of Alaskan wildlife will soon be able to grow up just as it would in the wild.
Our hope for Deshka is to definitely get more wolves and more wolf pups potentially, if get any wild rescues within the next year. She's a wolf, she's not programmed to be a dog. The hopes is by next summer, we'll have a couple more pups we can bring to her pack, and she'll have a wolf pack instead of Remy and humans.
This wild wolf is learning from a sled dog. And in downtown Anchorage, 50,000 people have gathered to witness the start of the 1,500-kilometer dog sled race known as the Iditarod. Teams from all over the globe are here to test themselves and their dogs against Alaska's extreme climate. In an attempt to break the course record, Wade's dogs will need to run over 150 kilometers a day for the next 8 days. Even wild wolves are thought to only travel a maximum of 80 kilometers in a day. But with the combination of human and sled dog, they hope to conquer the extreme Alaskan wilderness that surrounds this truly wild city.